Bye-bye, kids, because once they saw that, I'm telling you, there was a Fortnite freakout. The game's latest season ending with a black hole, and now players are in the dark, quite literally, because the game hasn't revamped up to the new season. A lot of folks wondering if there is going to be a new season. Has Fortnite finally said goodnight? All this drama that a lot of people can't relate to, but if you're in that world of gaming, it's all anyone is talking about. Fox News Entertainment host T.N. Wang says this marketing plan could lead to more users signing up. So there's, I guess from what you're saying, Ten, there's a strategy maybe on the part of Fortnite and the makers to do this, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. You know, I think that this was a really brilliant strategy because it creates this source of scarcity. This was a huge publicity stunt, and so for the people who don't know, basically by the end of Season 10, the entire map imploded into a black hole and sucked all of the players along with it. And if you were to look at Epic's game store as well as their Twitch and everything else, it's just been replaced with this black hole. And it's a really great publicity stunt. You know, normally Fortnite news gets covered by video game outlets, but now I've seen reports in The Hollywood Reporter, in CNN, you know, and now I'm here on national television talking about it. So they were definitely able to turn heads.
All right, but what does this mean? I mean, you know this stuff so better than I, but I do know that the base of Fortnite players, maybe not as big as it was some years back, but still very substantial. You don't want to screw with that, do you?
Well, I guess the darker edge of that is that, you know, if people who are playing a lot of Fortnite are addicted, if they don't play the game for another couple of days or so, they're going to still want to keep playing the game. But I think when it comes to
their only
publicity,
alternative, though, is talking to their families. They do not want to do that, right?
Absolutely. Why would you talk to your families when you can hang out with all of your cool friends online and shoot them up? You know what I mean? But, you know, when it comes down to the marketing strategy, though, it does make sense because you mentioned the revenue. So Fortnite is no longer the new shiny object within the video game industry anymore. And if you look each month at the revenue the game has been making this year and compare it to the previous year, it's gone down somewhere from like 38% to 52%.
Wow.
So they definitely want more eyes on the game.
You know, a lot of people are back to Minecraft, which I found amazing. When my boys were little, I mean, that was a big draw. Now, that's the new draw. Everything old again is new again. I don't know how true that is, but Fortnite has had an incredible lock on kids' attention, not just kids, but by and large kids, especially teenage boys. And I'm wondering if that might be loosening a bit, no matter what marketing ploy they're using right now.
Well, I would say that probably not if you look at historical precedent. And so what you said was very interesting, how everything old becomes new again. Well, it turns out that Fortnite has actually been losing Twitch viewership as well, but the most viewed game on Twitch right now is actually League of Legends, which is ancient. I mean, that game is 15 years old. So Fortnite is going to be there, and I think it's going to be there for the foreseeable future. It's just kind of maturing out, and the kind of revenue that you're seeing now or probably in the years ahead is probably where it's going to stabilize.
I'm wondering, too, Dan, whether in an effort to make the game more appealing to more players by taking away some of the things you could purchase separately to give you more of an edge or whatever, that it boomeranged on Fortnite devotees, that they said, hey, now all of a sudden it isn't as special, it's not as, you know, alluring. What do you make of that?
Sure. So I guess, you know, some of the complaints that I've actually seen within the within the player base, it actually has more to do with this season specifically because they introduced a new vehicle called a battle mech, and a lot of the professional players were griping about how it was throwing off the balance in the game. But when it comes down to microtransactions, I think their customer loyalty for people who just consistently purchase those transactions is somewhere around 50%, and it's been holding steady. The other thing I would say is that it's not like this kind of microtransaction that goes on within Fortnite is not something that you would necessarily criticize that game for. It seems to be this part of the video game industry now is that there's so many video games out there, they've become so competitive that everything is leaning more toward microtransactions and keeping video games as more like a live, continuous living service.
Well, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to reintroduce myself to my kids, and I just say, "Hi, this is Dad. How are you?"
You got about 2 or 3 days, Neil.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I suggest that you make the most out of it.
If I'm lucky, young man. All right, Tian, thank you very, very much. And once again, kids, if you're watching, hi, this is Dad. I'd like to say hello. A little more to this.